Hey guys, welcome back. This is the December 14 update. This will actually be the last update for this year, and I'll get some more done on the layout over the holiday break and then get back to videos in the new year. So with that, I do want to say thanks to everybody. This year has been great for the layout. I've really enjoyed making these videos and really enjoy all the kind comments you guys are saying about the layout and about the videos and things. It certainly encourages me to keep making them and stuff. So hopefully you'll keep watching, keep enjoying them, and I'll keep making them for you. So with that, I do want to give a shout out to another great YouTube modeler that I think you ought to check out if you haven't already. Probably a lot of you subscribe to him already. Is Derek Glass. He's got a great layout in works, the Keystone Central Railroad, and it's actually really neat. About a year ago, Derek was working on the layout and he decided that he wasn't happy with what he had, and he came up with a new great plan. And it's been really neat over the last year to watch that go from conception to coming up with an actual track plan and layout to he's got it all built and he's putting in roadbed and doing wiring and stuff. And so that's really neat and cool to sit and watch, and so you guys ought to check it out. He also does some fantastic product reviews and how-tos on how he's building his layout, doing wiring and laying rails, and how some of the design techniques he's used and things. So highly recommend you check that out. So again, Derek Glass, the Keystone Central Railroad. All right, so with that, on to the update today. So mainly been working on the bridge and everything. It's still not complete, but let me show you what I do have done on the bridge at Larkspur. Hey guys, so now the road is glued in place. It's all affixed and that's dry. And so now I'm going to cover it in plaster cloth. But instead of actually doing the traditional dip the plaster cloth in water, since this is a small section and I want this to be nice and smooth, what I'll actually do is cut this to fit, put it in place here, and then spray it with water and smooth it out. And it'll harden and everything just fine. It'll be a nice smooth surface. This isn't the top road surface, but this will get everything hardened in place and then give some grip for the top road surface to adhere to. Okay, so it's just that easy. Now I'll let this dry and then I'll put in my road surface, which is spackling paste or plaster of Paris. I sort of use them interchangeably. One thing when you're doing that, make sure you leave adequate space for your shoulders and determine whether you're going to have gravel shoulders or hard shoulders on there, and give some space for that. So I'll show you different techniques to put the road surface on. First one here for Spruce Mountain Road. Once the plaster is dry, go ahead and get some double stick mounting tape and go ahead and put that down the sides. If you're doing something with real wide area, like on a parking lot or something, you can just put it on flat on the surface. If you're doing a raised area like this road, you can put it along the edges so that it's sticking up. Try and make my roads about 1/8 of an inch thick. It seems to work out pretty good. It doesn't have too many cracks on it and everything. I'm going to go ahead and fill in this dam area with spackling or plaster of Paris. I like the pre-mix stuff better than the stuff you mix yourself, simply because the pre-mix stuff is a little bit thicker and it doesn't run all over the place as much, and it seems to have a little bit longer working time, which if you're mixing your own plaster, use cold water and it'll give you a longer working time. So after you get that in the dam, just go ahead and use a wider trowel to go ahead and smooth that down and get it as smooth as you can, but you don't have to worry about it being perfectly smooth, because you will come back and sand this later after it all hardens. So we kind of get some of this lined up here and then get a little bit of the excess off, and that works pretty good. And so I'll let that sit overnight and harden, and then come back in and work on Fox Farm Road, which very similar technique for the underside. These are actually broken parts of the Woodland Scenics risers systems. I find I end up breaking a lot of them, especially at the real thin ends as they're just starting. And so I'm going to use these scrap pieces to build up the incline for West Fox Farm Road, which is a dirt road. And so it'll be a little bit different for the top surface. But while these things are broken and can't really be used for a nice even incline for the railroad tracks, for just a road, they'll work perfectly fine. And so I'm just going to build up some of these to get the profile of the road that I like, and then just doing a little test fitting here to make sure that the height of the road isn't too close to the underside of the bridge, where it just doesn't look right as far as it being close. So, but I think that's going to work, and that gives me the right profile that I'm looking for. So go ahead and glue that in place, and then once it's all hardened, go back and remove all the pins. And then as far as putting the plaster cloth on, go ahead and use the same technique as I did on Spruce Mountain Road of cutting the plaster cloth to fit and then laying it down and spraying it with water in place rather than dipping it. So I'll go ahead and set these in, get them to where I pretty much I want them, and then spray them with some water and smooth it all into place. And then once that's all smoothed into place, I'll go ahead and put the spackling down. And in this one, again, a little slightly different technique. I did not put the mounting tape on because it's a dirt road, and so I don't have to worry about it being perfectly level and even and everything. It can be a little bit rougher, and so I don't have to worry about trying to make a perfectly smooth surface that I can sand down and get real smooth. And so I'm not putting the mounting tape down at all. And then also then you don't have to let it dry. You can go ahead and put it down while it's wet, because not so much because of the plaster won't adhere at all whether it's dry or wet, but the mounting tape doesn't want to adhere when it's wet. And so if you're going to use the mounting tape, you got to wait for it to dry. But if you're just going to do this technique, you can do it right away while it's still wet. And then I'm also going to fill in some of the ground contours around the road, because this dirt road here does not have nice groomed shoulders. It sort of drops away and just has some rough shoulders. So go ahead and smooth that out. I'm still going to sand this once it dries to get a little bit smoother, but it won't be smooth like a paved surface would be. Now I also went ahead and put in the abutments for the road bridge that goes over Plum Creek here, and I showed you these in the last video that I made, these sort of corrugated metal abutments with I-beams holding them back. And I needed to go through now and just sort of fill in, again using the spackling to fill in the dirt around it, so it looks like those are sunk down into the earth rather than just glued on the edge of the canyon. And so that's what I'm doing now. And like I mentioned previously, I use an artist palette knife here for this, because I find it is a little easier to control where the spackling is going and stuff rather than just using a putty knife. So we'll get all this in place and get it kind of the way I like it, let it dry, and then you can still come back and kind of carve rocks into it if you want, and smooth it out in areas that you think are a little too sharp or pointy. And just get the way you like, where it looks like all that is sunk down in the earth. Let it dry, come back and paint it, and it should look pretty good. Okay, so here's what the bridge looks like right now. Still have to do all the tying it into the scenery and finishing the scenery. The bridge is not permanently in place yet. I wanted to wait till I finished all the scenery around it before it's fixed. And you can see the two roads there. The road on the far span that you're looking at now is Fox Farm Road, and that will actually be a dirt road, as opposed to Spruce Mountain Road, which is on the other side, and that is a paved road that'll be going over. Still have to finish up the roads and certainly get them painted and striped. I've completed ballasting the northbound joint line, but still have some additional scenery to do behind the bridge, so it's not permanently in place yet. The trestle supports at the end of the bridges are complete, and all the nut bolt washers are in place. That part of the bridge was all completely scratch built. The actual deck girder portions of the bridge are from Exact Rail with a little modifications to make them match the Larkspur Bridge. I've gotten a few questions about the piers for the bridge. They are not any I made myself. They're by Adventures in Miniature, or AIM products. They've got these piers plus a bunch of other really neat castings. I recommend you go ahead and check them out. Alright guys, so that'll do it for this video. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope you get a chance to work on your train some if you get some of the holidays off and things. That's what I'm going to be doing. And so hopefully we'll come back in the new year, and pretty soon I'll be able to show you a completed Larkspur Bridge with trains running over it. So let's keep our fingers crossed that that'll be the next update, as you'll see some trains going across the bridge at Larkspur. So with that, again, thanks for all your support. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year's. Be safe, keep running your trains, keep enjoying them, and we'll catch you later.